During the making of this video, the operators of various mines allowed the staging of certain conditions which may at first appear to be unsafe and not according to certain federal, state, and/or company safety procedures. These scenes were created strictly to demonstrate the differences between correct and incorrect safety and work procedures in the mining environment. They in no way are a true reflection of the condition or operation of the mine shown in this video production.
Hello, and welcome to another in our exciting series of mine safety training videos. Today we're going to be discussing a topic that many of us in the mining industry don't think near enough about, those dangerous critters that join us in the mining environment. Listen as two of the foremost authorities I know share with you years of experience gained in studying these dangerous critters.
Bees, spiders, scorpions, snakes, alligators, fire ants, ticks, and mosquitoes. These are just some of the critters that pose a danger to you in the mining environment. You and I tend to think of all these creatures as pests or a bother to us in the mining environment, but they were here first.
Yeah, all these creatures that we find in these mining environments were the original residents. They were here first. We're the new neighbors, and we need to learn how to be good neighbors with these animals. These animals have a very intricate life, and it's a very delicate balance out there, actually. It's eat or be eaten, it's find shelter, it's find mates and procreate, and then we come along as humans and interrupt that in some manner, and they really don't know how to deal with us. They don't like people. And by and large, they just want to be left alone. The secret is to learn where our neighbors live and what they like to eat, and where they like to hide, and when do they like to come out. Some of them like to come out at nighttime, some of them in the daytime, some hide underneath things. So as we're walking through their neighborhoods, we need to learn where they're at, what they do, and how they act, and then we can get along better with them and be better neighbors.
Avoiding insects, snakes, and other dangerous critters in the mining environment is your very first line of defense against injury. So let's take a look at understanding critters and their environments. However, in the event of an accidental sting or bite, we'll cover first aid remedies in case you're stung or bitten. Let's identify some of the more common places that critters are likely to be found in the mining environment. Yellow jackets, wasps, and hornets can be found around awnings and overhangs of buildings, which are a perfect place for them to build nests. Look above you before you walk into these areas. Believe it or not, steps and stairways leading up and down to processing equipment or conveyors are another place of choice for nesting yellow jackets or wasps. As you move away from the plant, lay-down equipment storage areas are another potential home for hornets or wasps looking to build nests. And in the field, some electrical door panels at power substations might be another likely place to find bees' nests. When working in areas of the mine where overburden must be cleared, bees can be found in both trees, and yellow jackets and hornets will even nest in the ground locations. Tree and ground nests can be quite large. Be careful. One important thing to remember whenever you see any of these, move calmly and casually. The more jumpy and panicked your movements, the more likely the insect will see you as a threat and sting. Spiders are another mining environment critter.
There's about 70 different spiders, and only 2 families of them are poisonous. The widow family, the black, brown, red, and the northern widow are all over North America, and the brown recluse, which was native to the Upper Midwestern Valley way back in the early days, but now is being spread virtually all over anywhere they ship stuff out of. That's how they got shipped around, was fruit shipping industry.
Black widow spiders will often spin webs underneath boards, stones, and in other darkened areas. Females with a shiny abdomen and two reddish or yellowish triangles on the underside are dangerous because their venom contains toxins which affect the human nervous system. The inside of dark storage buildings, storage cabinets, and even the underside of equipment in storage or the bottom side of a picnic table are places these spiders can be found. They can also be found along foundation slabs between shrubs, especially where brick or wood siding extends close to ground level. The brown recluse spider can also inflict a dangerous bite.
If you've got a garage, a barn, a tool shed, somewhere, I see a cab on this tractor here. If that's sealed where the critter can stay relatively in a neutral environment, they will live there for about 2 years or until you find him and get him killed.
Most bites occur when a person puts on clothes that have been stored or hanging for a long time in storage before being worn. The bite of the brown recluse is very serious and can leave a large disfiguring scar if not cared for properly. Scorpions have been on the earth for more than 400 million years. Only one species in the U.S. is potentially lethal, the bark scorpion. It is confined mainly south of the frost line in the U.S. All scorpions can sting with the tail and venom. Scorpions like any dark, moist, protected space. In the mining environment, they can be found in the drains of sinks, in a pair of shoes left on the floor for an extended period of time, or even a sweaty shirt thrown down and left. Look before you put shoes on, and don't throw clothes down or leave them on the floor. Fire ants are another menace.
This real strange thing about fire ants, we've had some people die here in the state of Florida from fire ant bites because nobody realized that they are wingless wasps. If we went back 1,000,000 years from today, that sucker would have wings. They're wingless wasps and have the same venom. It's Hymenoptera venom that kills about 600 people in the United States every year, counting all the bees that have Hymenoptera. The Hymenoptera series of bees kill about 600 people in the United States every year.
The nest is a series of underground tunnels. In the spring and fall, the ants become most active. If they do crawl on your skin, brush the ants off immediately to prevent serious bites. They must first bite to anchor themselves before the sting, so brushing them off quickly will help avoid the sting. Now we come to the category of snakes. There are 4 primary categories in Florida.
The dangerous snakes are the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, the cottonmouth or water moccasin, the pygmy rattlesnake, and then we also have one that's a beautiful snake that has a neurotoxin that's very potent, and that's the coral snake. All of these animals are found throughout the entire state.
So where are we likely to find these snakes in the mining environment?
The eastern diamondback rattlesnake likes dry type environments, palmetto thickets. They don't like it very wet. They like to have places like gopher tortoise dens that they can go down into those burrows and hide, and that's where they make their home along with the gopher tortoise and a lot of other animals. And then probably the best known of all, especially in a mining environment where there's water available, and that's the water moccasin or the cottonmouth. They like slow-moving bodies of water, lakes, ponds, ditches, creeks, and they have a nasty temperament, and they're the type of snake that usually holds his own ground. You walk up on a cottonmouth, he gives that attitude of, hey, I was here first, you want to come over here and mess with me? Come ahead, I'll gladly take you on. Pygmy rattlesnakes don't like it soaking wet. They don't live down in water like a water moccasin, but they do like to live in what we call transition areas, the edges of rivers and ponds. That's where we like to find those little guys. In the mining environment, if you have materials, building materials, or possible equipment that's lying around for a while, you may very easily reach over there to pick something up and have a coral snake underneath it. One of the reasons for that is that's where their food lives. They like to eat other little snakes and lizards and skinks, and that's where you find those types of items. So they're going to live where their food is available.
Snakes generally shun people unless cornered. Often they really have to be provoked to even strike. Keep your distance and avoid snakebite. Alligators are another one of the critters you definitely don't want to tangle with. They will range from 8 to 11 feet in length and can reach a weight of up to 2,000 pounds. They're found living in lakes, swamps, and rivers. If you get too close, you could be in trouble.
They usually will try to stay away from us, but you get out of a car, a truck, a piece of equipment, you're walking along around the edge of a pond or a lake or a mine area, and there's alligators present. You may not know it because they're hiding. They stay underwater. They just pick their head and their nose up and look around. You get too close to one, though, and surprise the animal or get into the water, especially at night. That's when they like to feed. And you may take a chance of having yourself become the victim of an alligator attack. And it's not pleasant.
In addition to cutting, crushing, and severing limbs, alligators have bites that can get infected.
You start getting over the 6-foot class and you're talking some incredibly heavy bites, nasty wounds, and some big damage, potential for that. The alligator mouth has a lot of pathogens in it, a lot of infectious materials. Those materials, when the alligator bites, will get very deep into the wound, and consequently the chance of infection is great. And the infections are real bad. So even a minor bite or scrape with an alligator, you should really clean that wound very good and go down and seek, like you would with any animal bite, seek medical attention. If nothing else, be prepared for tetanus shots and possible antibiotic treatment to keep the infection down.
Don't disturb the gator or its young ones. And don't attempt to feed a gator with any kind of food. Ticks can be found almost anywhere.
One of the things that people don't realize, you don't have to be out in the backside of the woods to get a tick. You can walk through your own grass. They could be carried by the wind, they're carried by birds. In fact, that's how Lyme disease got into Florida, was the eastern flyway of the birds. They got the ticks up there, and by the time they got down here, the tick was engorged and dropped off, and now we've got Lyme disease here. 30 years ago, there was no Lyme disease here. They hang on the underneath side of blades of grass. You knock him off there, he gets on your leg, he'll walk up your pant leg, or he'll go up your leg, and he'll get to warm, moist areas. The crotch, behind the knee, around the waistband of your pants, around the top of your socks, underneath your armpits, behind your ear, or if you've got a hat band, if you're sweating at the hat band, they'll go underneath your hat band and get right around the hat band.
In the mining environment, mosquitoes might be small, but they carry diseases and pack a heck of a bite. The West Nile virus is carried by mosquitoes. It is deadly, and there is no known cure for it. Wear long-sleeve shirts and long pants if you will be in areas of water, woods, or other places where they congregate. If necessary, use bug spray and keep the mosquitoes away. When a honeybee stings, it leaves a barbed stinger that has a venom sac at the top, and if squeezed will produce more toxins. Hornets, wasps, and yellow jackets are able to and do remove their stingers. Some people develop a severe local allergic reaction to a sting, and they may die from it. Get the person with an allergic reaction to a doctor immediately. Bee sting kits containing a syringe and injectable epinephrine should be carried and used by those persons with severe allergic reaction. In a non-life-threatening situation, first wash the sting area with lots of warm soapy water. Second, scrub liquid camphor-phenique into the sting bite. Third, make a solution of 1 cup household ammonia, 1 teaspoon baking soda, and 1 teaspoon meat tenderizer. Scrub the solution vigorously into the bite area. Step 4, if lesions persist, use warm Epsom salt soaks 20 minutes, 4 times daily.
The only thing to do is remove the tick, and you don't want to use a blown out match or a cigarette to touch the back end of the tick, because he's going to regurgitate his guts into the bite mark, and if he has any of these diseases, you have it for sure. So the best way to remove a tick is with liquid camphor-phenique, or if you've got these, they sell actually a pair of tweezers, you can reach down and get a hold of him right at the skin line and slowly pull him out.
Black widow spider venom is a powerful neurotoxin affecting the nervous system. There may be 2 puncture wounds and a pale coloring to the skin around them. Don't wait for symptoms to appear. Get medical attention immediately. There is a serum.
It's a serum for the widow. It works well. I've used it and it comes in small, it's just a small dose, don't take much because the widow doesn't have that much venom, so the serum is not that big a deal and it works great. In fact, usually the average amount is usually 3 to 5 vials of the antiserum and you're done.
The brown recluse spider bite is also very serious. Often the victim feels nothing at first, but aching sets in after about an hour. Within 2 to 4 hours, the pain can be much worse. A blister appears. The bite may appear as a dark spot with a white area surrounding it and a red ring. If bitten, go to a hospital emergency room. Don't wait for symptoms to appear. En route to the doctor?
So scrub that bite mark off with ammonium bicarbonate tenderizer and then liquid camphofenique. Now, if this does progress into serious pain, then you've got a brown recluse bite. And the bite mark, the lesion, will increase to about the size of a silver dollar in about 4 to 5 hours.
As we said, the best cure for a snake bite is to avoid it. However, in the event that you're bitten,
First aid for snake bite is real simple. Anybody can do it. It's not the old John Wayne method. It's not put a tourniquet on and crank it down and cut it open and do all this other type of stuff. That can cause a lot of damage, more damage than possibly the snake did. First aid for every type of snake we have is leave it alone and go seek professional medical attention as quickly as you can.
The old Western movies and everybody else has always talked about cutting, sucking tourniquets and cold packs for so long, and old habits are hard to break. And the serum that is available for every poisonous snake in the world is available now and works well if it's used properly. Treat for shock. In all cases, I don't care what happens, in all cases, treat for shock. Keep the victim lying down, keep him quiet, maintain body temperature. If it's a hot day, fan him, keep him cool. If it's a cold day, wrap him in a blanket. If you're somewhere, put your blanket down and put him on it. Don't put him on a scalding hot sand or a tar paper or a tarred road. Put the blanket under him.
it almost goes without saying that alligator attacks, bites, and wounds can provide serious injury, if not death. Do not feed them. Keep your distance. If you are bitten or harmed in any way by an alligator, get to a doctor or emergency room immediately for medical assistance for the cuts, bruises, shock, and the potential infection from E. coli and salmonella. Be alert. Be smart. Understand dangerous critters in the mining environment. Avoid them at all possible cost, but provide and seek proper first aid remedies if you encounter them and need to do so.
Wow, I hope you've learned as much as I have today. Not all critters are as docile as this captive gator named Pop here. We really appreciate Pop, and we especially like to thank Maynard and Tim for sharing their expertise gained through many years of working with these dangerous critters. Until the next exciting mine safety training video, work safe.